Well, guys, the Ultimate Team Deep Dive has arrived, and I want to give my live reaction to it rather than, go through it first and talk about it. Like, it's more entertaining that way, but I did see one thing that's in the video that they dropped that they kind of, teased all these things, and one of the things in there is already pissing me off, and I know it's going to piss you guys off too, but we're not going to go negative too quick here, okay? We got to save it for at least, like, 2 minutes in, not 30 seconds in, but there is some positive stuff as well, of course, so we'll get into that too in just a second here as we go through all of the changes. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. So, okay, yeah, dramatic. A new chapter for Football Ultimate Team, and FC26 FUT is changing based on how you play and what you've asked for, okay? And not gonna lie, in the What's New tab, it's pretty much all the things we kind of knew already that were leaked by, like, Detective FUT earlier. We know about competitive gameplay already. Live events we'll go and look at here. Rivals and Champs revamp, so we have no more playoffs, direct qualification, new bounties, and limited checkpoints. We'll get into that in just a second. FUT match outcome improvements, that's also been leaked to be a new feature now. There's more updates to award a win, and then evolution updates. You can evolve goalkeepers, combine cosmetic upgrades without losing existing styles, which is obviously a really nice addition there. But it's kind of surprising that this is kind of all of the new additions for this year's Ultimate Team. And I get technically 2 new game modes is quite a bit of new stuff, right? But I thought we'd have all that leaked, plus some of the stuff we hadn't seen yet wouldn't have been leaked, right? But turns out everything that's been leaked is like all the new features. So what do you guys think about that? But okay, so I'm not going to read through everything here, but I'm going to go through and kind of show you what I think about it. And I want you guys to tell me too, if this at all got you more excited for this year's game, which is one thing about, the thing I was most excited for is tournaments, and there's something in there that is really upsetting. But okay, reading this here, this is kind of interesting. Live events are a new pillar of FUT's competitive structure, and I'm warning you now, it's staying a very heavily competitive structure, right? We're not going casual, I'll tell you that much. Designed to bring in more variety, sure, okay. I'm just glad we have more game modes. To enter some live events, your squad may need to meet some custom criteria. So down here, you have to play 20 rivals matches, and you can enter into this live event. And live events are simply just friendlies. Like, it's just a build on friendlies. So we kind of have 3 new game modes. This is basically what friendlies is, but they can add a few more like ways that you have to do certain things to get into a friendly. So now you have to play 20 rivals matches to get into this friendly, in case that's a new feature, I suppose. And down here, you get house rules again, match limits, because go fuck yourself, and then there's the rest of the stuff that we've been used to seeing. And right here, objective linking is basically, it looks like it's making it easier to see what your objectives are, so you don't have to go back into a different screen to see your objectives. You'll be able to spend more time on the pitch and less time navigating menus. So you can just kind of seamlessly go through objectives, I guess, which is something that's nice, because you did have to go through a lot of back and forth, right? So that's kind of a better, more quality of life experience. Here's an interesting one right here. So matchmaking can be configured for each individual live event to use either per event win form, your match record in that specific live event only, or global win form, your match record across other global win form events. I wonder if we'll be able to see that, because, will they show us that before these games, or will we just have to, I guess, be in the blind about that? Because I guess if you guys don't know what they're saying here, the friendlies matchmaking will sometimes be based off of just that specific friendly. So if you're like 0-0 in that friendly, you'll play against somebody who's 0-0. Or if it's a global win form, you'll be based off of other friendlies in the past. I guess that's like what they're saying there. And here is this play menu. So this is where like the tournament would be, the gauntlet would be, and then here's challengers as well. That's that lower tier of weekend league. Then right here was where you lost me, okay? I would like to say this was what we were worried about. Okay, this is exactly what we were worried about when I saw that screenshot about tournaments. We saw on there, it said entries. Okay, look at this one. Event ends in 21 days. Entries, 10 of 10. We have limited entries into the tournaments, guys. Oh, got match limits, limited entries. It just has to be so competitive all the time. If it was 10 entries like a day, it's like, all right, okay, whatever. You're not probably going to use all 10. No, 10 entries in 3 weeks here for this single nation tournament. This might be just a random example, and it won't be like this usually, but that is concerning, because that is going to basically just be a new version of the sweaty friendlies that we just had, which aren't the worst thing ever. It's something different, but that's not what tournaments is. It's not bringing any sort of casualness to anything at all. This is just adding more sweaty game modes in. It's more variety, but it's not any less, I guess, less weekend leaguey. Like that, we're not going to do that here. So let me know if I'm tripping about that. but that was what I was worried about because yes, in any mode that has good rewards, so like for example, I'll go back up, it says rare mega pack reward, right? And I'm assuming you can get this over and over again, even if you end up winning, right? I'm assuming you can get 10 rare mega packs theoretically. What I was trying to say is that yes, any reward that is at the end of a tournament is going to make it more inherently competitive, right? But there are good ways to go about making it less sweaty and less sort of intense all the time. And that's not, I don't think, what EA are doing here. There's a For You tab, I guess, where it shows you some of the stuff. Okay, like a new Ultimate Team UI, which you've kind of expect to see. Tournaments are back right here. So right here, tournaments may include specific entry requirements like objective progress or division rank, etc. And also entry limits with refreshes. So like I said before, if it refreshes every day and it's 10 entries a day to stop like complete farming, then it's like, okay, that's understandable. But if it's 10 entries per 3 weeks, then you know, that's not really the spirit of a tournament. But I know I'm being negative here already, but there's a lot to do at least, right? We have gauntlets adding in here too. We got friendlies, weekend league, division rivals, squad battles, like there's a draft. There's so many different game modes now, which is at least a nice benefit or silver lining, I should say, to these entries now. But here's like that screen here with the tournaments. So, okay, that's cool to see that, right? Here's the gauntlet mode as well here. And this mode I actually am kind of excited for because this does give more need to enhance your squad, right? It says here there's 3 rounds requiring 3 unique squads actually running every 2 weeks to start. But I'm warning you right now, we once again have the same problem, but here's this paragraph here. Unlike tournaments, there's no elimination. So you can keep playing through the full gauntlet regardless of results. The more you win, the better the reward. So I think maybe there's like 15 games, right? There's 3 rounds. So every 5 games you have to run a different squad. But down here, guess what we see, guys? You'll never guess what we see here. Event ends in 28 days. Entries 2 of 2. So, you know, it's just another one of those things that we're on EA's time, right? Whenever they want to release something, then we get to play. It's like we don't have modes that just kind of like play through. And I know I'm complaining here, but this has potential, right? I like the idea of a way to have us use more cards. I definitely really like that idea. I just worry about the implementation. The game's not out yet. Keep in mind, the game is not out yet. So we'll see how it goes. FC Pro live events now. So if you want to try and compete against the best and become a pro, you can register for competitions, compete, win, and climb leaderboards based on your peak elo. If there's anyone out there that wants to do that. Rivals revamp here. I like this sentence. In Football Ultimate Team, it feels like there are too many matches to play, especially if you're aiming for top ranked rewards. These are our 3 points of feedback here. Once you've climbed divisions and are consistently matched up against similarly skilled players, the motivation to keep playing can taper off. That's true. Hitting a good run of form can leave you stranded in a higher division that you might not belong to, creating huge losing streaks as you wait for the season to refresh. And I heard that a lot of my comment sections as time went on. Bounties here is cool though. So these are the challenges you can do within each game. For example, score the first goal, score the last goal. You'll get yourself possibly rivals points, champs qualification points, coins, packs, season XP, right? Lots of different things for different bounties there, which I think is cool. And then duels as well. Duels are special bounties that attempt to match you with opponents on the same challenge, like score first, ensuring that only one player can walk away with the reward. Okay, so that surely won't be sweaty. No, that definitely won't be. We got limited checkpoints here, sort of, yeah, a breakable checkpoint. So if you lose enough games in a row, then you will still be like relegated over time. But for most people, it still will be a checkpoint, right? So I do like that idea too. That's a nice idea there. Also, you can see the rival screens a little bit different. There's your limited checkpoint. Games you can afford to lose before dropping a stage here is 2. But I think that's because we're in Division 9, so, you know, it's going to be lower there. Then we got champions and challengers, right? I do want to mention up here quickly, they do say in this paragraph here, they're going to run through new systems designed to make rivals feel exciting and rewarding, even if you don't walk away with the win. So they're trying to do that here, apparently, as we get towards the launch update pitch notes is what they say. But down here, champions and challengers, so there's no more playoffs. They've been removed. We know that already. You're qualified directly by just reaching a specific rivals division and collecting champs qualification points, just like the old way. They'll have more exact details in the launch update pitch notes closer to launch here. Now, one of the things we just learned here over the last about 10 minutes since this came out, every single win in champs now means something. So there's going to be no more giving away wins probably for anybody, because every single win now, you start off with the 3rd tier of rank 5 here, right? You like the 3rd tier of of rank 5, second tier of rank 5, first tier of rank 5, and there's obviously 15 wins here. So every single win now means something. So the days of free wins are probably over. And then before, you know, this rank here is challengers, right? So that would kind of be this way, which is a cool little addition for like the more casual players out there. It looks like challengers is going to be a live event, not even in like a separate sort of FUT champions area. It's going to be its own like friendly almost is what it looks like. I'm not sure what the rewards are here, but yeah, I'm assuming they probably won't be that great, but it is something that the lower skilled player can play against each other doing, which I do think that's a good idea. And competitive gameplay, we know about this already, like fewer keeper rebound goals, tackles bouncing back to opponents. I think what their goal here is maybe to make some things a little less realistic. Like for example, the keeper rebounds, right? There might be some weird kind of keeper rebound stuff to where it maybe looks wonky with the physics slightly, but it's more competitive that way, which I do think is probably the right idea for us, right? In an Ultimate Team gameplay kind of experience. And updated match outcomes here. So this one is now the player can dashboard instead of just quitting the game from the menu. You can still get the win. Now, keep in mind there are certain conditions still to be met here. When playing live events, rivals, and champs, you will receive a win when certain conditions are met. We're still finalizing what those conditions are going to be, but similar to how this worked in FC 25, there will be a limit on the number of times a player is able to receive a win from this each day. So they're trying to avoid the glitchers, right? And odds are you probably won't reach that limit is my guess. And they're also testing to see the set of conditions within the match itself. So I guess we really didn't learn anything here. They're like, we're testing this and we'll let you know, but they're trying to work on it, I suppose, which I guess is something, right? I mean, it's better to have them be working on that, and looks like it's going to be a similar thing to what last year was, though, in terms of like red card or penalty or second half is my guess is what it's going to be there. But we'll hear more on this. Rush match outcomes / matchmaking delays. To encourage teammates in Rush to keep fighting till the end of the match, we are introducing matchmaking delays in Rush for players who consistently leave matches early. So this will not be actually in other game modes, it looks like. It's just going to be in Rush, which I guess that's nice to see, because people were worried that in champs, if you back out of a game, they have you like on a delay or something like that. Looks like that will not be the case here. And then right here, probably the most exciting news of this entire thing, really, besides the tournaments, which, you know, we have our doubts about, but goalkeeper, repeatable evos, and cosmetic upgrades. So goalkeeper evos are in Ultimate Team 26, which is cool. Repeatable evos, though, is cool too. You're now able to actually do evos more than once if they allow you to. It wouldn't be with the same card, but you could do them possibly twice, if maybe like twice in 2 days, right? Or maybe even 4 times or 5 times. But I would guess like maybe you could do it twice, right? That's probably what we're going to see for most of them. But imagine like later in the year, an unlimited repeatable evo would be kind of cool for the Gauntlet mode, right? Right here, cosmetic stacking and rarity layers. You can now evolve players without changing their item design unless a specific evo changes the rarity, which I wonder what that means. Like how many evos change the rarity of a card? I guess maybe like certain icon ones, right? Maybe that would do that. Evolution status is marked with new badging, and that's right here. Okay, we kind of knew that already. That's not really much different to what we already had there. Cosmetic upgrades now stack and only override each other when they affect the same type. So your unique looks stay intact across evos. Even when an item's rarity changes, animation and badge effects that aren't tied to rarity will carry over. Plus, evo consumables now preview the cosmetics and rarity they unlock, helping you choose the right path for your squad. So I guess, you know, there was that like FUT birthday confetti thing you could have added in, right, at one point this year. That like won't be overwritten if you have a new card design. So there might be some like more unique designs this year for evos, which I'm kind of a nerd for. I like that kind of stuff. And also FC 26 Ultimate Edition owners start with 2 active evo slots at launch. We knew that one already. Graduated transfer market access. So apparently some accounts, if you're new to the game, you have to do like objectives to be able to access the transfer market, right? It's locked right here. And if you're a returning FUT player on the same platform and your account is in good standing, you'll have immediate access to it. But yeah, kind of surprised that's even in here. I don't even know why they added that necessarily, but all right, objectives tab. So now apparently in like every game mode, you can see relevant objectives. So they're, you know, same thing we saw earlier, streamlining the objectives tab so you don't have to go back and forth between them. But that is pretty much that, guys. So honestly, like, to be honest with you, the best thing about next year is the evos to me. Like the goalkeeper evos. I think tournaments and gauntlets could be cool. I worry how they're going to implement it in first year, honestly, because I hate the entries. I hate how everything's so tied to being sweaty. It's not going to change the sweaty aspect of this game if it stays that way, like we just saw it. That's one screenshot, by the way. It might not be that way, but I'm worried that it is, because I got to keep that whole competitive fire going. Oh my god, I need the best players all the time. I need Hullet, I need R9, I need to spend money right now. But honestly, the cosmetic stacking and repeatable evos, is like the best feature of the game. So I know that the biggest thing was gameplay. They must have been working on gameplay pretty hard because there aren't a lot of new additions here. Tough to say that with new game modes. Maybe I'm being harsh here because, to be honest, last year there probably were less additions even in last year, but I think because we had all these leaked already that maybe we were expecting more and we didn't really get any more than what we already had leaked. But what do you guys really think? I mean, I'm happy goalkeeper evos are in, right? I know they might be kind of cheesy, but I'm just happy that people with running theme squads can have goalkeeper evos. That's awesome. And I like the ideas of Gauntlet and the tournaments, obviously. I worry how they'll be implemented, but what do you guys obviously think? Maybe I'm tripping here, or maybe they kind of take a few months for them to iron out the kinks and respond to our feedback some, because hopefully they end up doing that. I was double checking to see if I missed anything here, and you can actually use the same player item, like even use them again on the same player item if eligible on repeatable evos. So you can actually do them twice if maybe you have like a bronze card you want to upgrade, right? That's a cool thing there. I think evos are the best the best change, right? And tournaments I think could be. I think tournaments could be a fantastic change if we have like unlimited entries. I would love that. And I saw this from FUT Spy here. You will have to be online at exactly 6 p.m. when Gauntlet and tournaments are dropped. They will require 11 of the same nation, and you cannot use the same card twice. That's if those requirements are that way, right? The example in the trailer or in that pitch notes was like, you know, same nation. They won't all be like that, I'm sure. But like, for example, the best goalkeepers from these nations could go extinct. I'm guessing the best everything from all those nations will go extinct very, very quickly. So I guess in one way it makes more sort of a healthier market, like not how things are now where things are so cheap all the time. But yeah, you're gonna have to be on like exactly that. And also what is going to be really, really prevalent is going to be leaks next year if they don't cut them out, because the gauntlets and tournaments will probably be leaked prior, and you'll need to be up to date with the leaks in order to see what nations you need to buy prior. So unfortunately, that means, yeah, leaks will be very prevalent if leaks end up being the same as they were in the previous year, right? You'll probably need to be online right away to go and scoop somebody up, unless you have like a full team where you have great players already. But another thing here, hot streak. So you're on double reward points as well, and 2 stages of progression. That was leaked already, but it's now confirmed. You'll get double reward points as well, so less time as well in rivals, which would be cool if you have a win streak. And I saw the screenshot here that kind of insinuates that there's not going to be any more new market filters, I assume, unless in the quality tab here, if you click on that, maybe there will be more options in there. But I think that's pretty much that. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think I was being too negative? Was I being too positive in this video? Honestly, always curious to hear what you have to say, and thank you all for being here today. Appreciate you all so much. Love you all. Peace.